Hey, hey. All right. So we are live. I posted earlier today letting folks know that I will be going live between 7:30 and 8. Just continuing my 30 days of going live, which is based on the Equitable Grading in STEM Planner. Um, I have to say, we're at day 17. Day 17. Again, this month is just flying by. But for the past couple of days, we've been talking a lot as we're in the second section within the planner now. And so we've been talking a lot about moving forward, right? The first section really had us doing a lot of the reflecting and ensuring that our grades were reflective of true knowledge and understanding. This section focuses on reducing the influence of external factors on the grades. And so we were talking about whether we focused on rewards or punishments, consequences, our homework policies, having flexible deadlines. And then we got into some pretty heavy things like talking about zeros and grading floors. And so today really excites me because we are focused on celebrating effort. So the quote that I'd like to start off with is one from James Joyce, and it just simply states that mistakes are portals of discovery. Mistakes are portals of discovery. And so we actually want to make mistakes because that helps us identify and discover where the problems are, what may need to happen next, how to do things even a little bit better. Mistakes are the portals of discovery. And so, how do we normalize making mistakes in our classes? We can help to normalize it by celebrating the journey, celebrating the effort. And so that's what we're talking about today. Grades often spotlight the end product, right? But learning happens in that messy space in between, that messy space in the middle. So by celebrating effort, we're going to reinforce that mistakes and persistence are part of growth, not evidence of failure. Understand? So here is the reflection prompt that I'd love you to think about today. How often do you acknowledge effort and growth, not just the final grades? How often are you acknowledging effort and growth? Right? So, for example, I might start highlighting a progress of the week or even a process of the week, right? It's showcasing a student who reflected or revised or showed persistence, even if their answer wasn't perfect. What did they do to get there? Elevating great thinking. So you might want to think about that in terms of an action. I would love for you to create just one system to celebrate the effort of students weekly, right? It could be something as simple as a growth shout out, right? Some sort of weekly recognition. It could be on your bulletin board, it could be on a slide or some sort of class announcement, but it's some way to say the effort you put in also matters. Sometimes the effort and the journey you've been on is more powerful than getting to the destination. Now, listen, I understand that we also need students to actually get the correct answer. But right now, what we're talking about is rewarding the journey so that they now have the self efficacy, believing that they can do it, right? And at least believing that they are learning and that they actually want to continue to try. The idea is not stamping and saying, listen, you've got the wrong answer, because hearing that enough, someone may be willing or a student may be willing to not even try anymore. If all that matters is whether I get the right answer, then I can't get the right answer, right? And you start to get this either or thinking, this very binary way of thinking about yourself brewing, or themselves, I should say, brewing within the student. So that's what we're trying to dismantle and shut down. When we spotlight effort, we're telling students that persistence is not it it's not something that they should ignore, and that we're not going to ignore it, that it is just as valuable as getting it right, especially getting it right for the first time, right? That is how we begin to develop a culture of growth within our classrooms. And this is the beginning of building students' self efficacy in your content area as well. All right. I'd love to hear more about what you've come up with. What are some of the things that you're trying to celebrate student effort on a regular basis? And as I always end, you know that every grade tells a story. So let's make it one that is worth telling. All right. See you tomorrow for day 18.